It is 2 in the morning, and your dog is doing something, not sleeping in their own bed, not curled up in the corner where you put that expensive cushion they used exactly once. They are next to you, pressed against your leg, or stretched across your feet, or wedged so firmly into your side that you have approximately 6 inches of mattress to work with, and they have the rest. Most people think they know why this happens. The dog is cold, the dog is clingy, the dog just likes comfort, and you happen to be warm and available. It sounds reasonable, it sounds obvious, but behavioral neuroscience tells a completely different story. What your dog is doing right now, in that moment when they press their body against yours and close their eyes, is not about temperature, it is not about habit, it is one of the most sophisticated emotional expressions that exists between 2 living species on this planet, and almost nobody understands what is actually happening. Let's start by taking the warmth theory seriously, because it deserves to be examined before it gets dismissed. Your dog is cold, you are warm. Simple, except here is the problem with that explanation. Your home is full of warm things. There is a sunny patch on the floor in the afternoon. There is a couch. There is probably a pile of your laundry somewhere that your dog has already claimed at least twice. If warmth was the goal, your dog has options. Many options. They walk past all of them. They walk past the radiator, past the soft chair, past every quiet and comfortable corner in the house, and they choose you, a human being who moves, who breathes loudly, who occasionally rolls over and takes the blanket. If warmth was the only variable, this makes no sense. So what is actually driving this? Sleep is the most vulnerable state any animal can experience. Every instinct inherited from thousands of years of predator and prey dynamics is screaming at your dog's nervous system to find somewhere hidden, somewhere protected, somewhere safe before losing consciousness. And instead of doing that, your dog walks past every quiet corner available and lies down next to a creature 15 times their size. That is not a comfort decision, that is a trust decision, and the science behind it goes deeper than most owners ever realize. Researchers at Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest took the same attachment test that developmental psychologists use to study human infants, a procedure called Ainsworth's strange situation, and applied it directly to dogs and their owners. What they found was not a rough similarity, it was a functional match. Dogs form attachment bonds with their owners that operate through the same psychological architecture as the bond an infant forms with its mother. The same proximity-seeking behavior, the same measurable distress during separation, the same physiological calming when reunited. 61% of the dogs tested were classified as securely attached. That number is almost identical to the proportion found in human toddlers across decades of attachment research. When your dog chooses to be close to you at the moment they are most vulnerable, they are not being needy. They are expressing the single most fundamental behavior in attachment psychology. You are their safe person, and their nervous system knows it before their eyes even close. But this is not only psychology, it is chemistry. In 2015, a research team at Azabu University in Japan published a study in Science, one of the most prestigious scientific journals in the world. They measured oxytocin levels in 30 dog and owner pairs during periods of mutual interaction. Oxytocin is the neurochemical your brain releases during bonding. It is the same molecule that floods a mother's brain when she holds her newborn for the first time. What the researchers found was extraordinary. When a dog gazes at their owner and the owner gazes back, both of them experience a measurable surge in oxytocin at the same time. Across species, the dog's oxytocin rises, the owner's oxytocin rises, which makes the dog want to maintain eye contact longer, which releases more oxytocin in both of them, which deepens the bond, which sustains the gaze. It is a self-reinforcing neurochemical loop, and no other animal on Earth activates it with humans. The researchers tested the same interaction with wolves that had been raised by humans from birth. The loop did not activate at all. This response co-evolved specifically between dogs and humans, across thousands of years of living in close proximity, and physical contact amplifies it. Just 10 minutes of petting your dog produces measurable drops in cortisol, the primary stress hormone in both of you simultaneously. Now consider when this began. Dogs are the only animal domesticated before agriculture, before farming, before cities, before written language. Roughly 15,000 years ago, wolves began approaching human campsites, drawn initially by food scraps and fire. The wolves least likely to flee from humans survived in greater numbers. They passed those traits to their offspring. Generations later, something new existed that had never existed before. In Germany, archaeologists uncovered a burial site dated to 14,000 years ago. 2 humans interred together, and beside them 2 dogs. But the detail that changes everything is this. One of those dogs had survived canine distemper, a disease that kills within 3 months without intervention. The animal had been nursed through illness for over 5 weeks by another person. 14,000 years ago, a human being provided intensive care to a sick dog. These were not tools. They were not working animals kept at a functional distance. They were family. And geneticists have since found that domestic dogs carry unique genetic insertions on chromosome 6, insertions associated with extreme sociability and human-directed contact seeking, that wolves do not carry. Your dog was shaped at a genetic level, across 15 millennia, to want to be near you. What happens every night when they lie down beside you is not a quirk. It is the continuation of something ancient. Here is where it gets genuinely strange. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic tracked the sleep quality of 40 adults and their dogs over 7 consecutive nights, using clinical-grade sleep monitors on both. The objective data was clear. Dogs disrupted human sleep. Movement, repositioning, the occasional stretch at 3 in the morning. The numbers were worse with the dog present, and yet almost every single participant reported feeling more comfortable, more secure, and more rested with their dog in the room. A researcher at Canisius College surveyed nearly 1,000 women and found that dogs were consistently rated as less disruptive than human bed partners and more emotionally comforting. Her follow-up study found the cause. Owners were waking briefly every time the dog moved, but almost never remembering it by morning. The physical interruptions were real, the felt experience of safety was stronger. And this is the part that reframes everything. We spent the vast majority of human history sleeping in groups. The isolated solo bedroom is a recent invention. The sense of safety that comes from having a warm, breathing, trusted presence beside you while you sleep may be more important to genuine rest than darkness and silence. Your dog might not be disrupting your sleep. They might be restoring something your nervous system has been missing. A study published in 2024 from the University of Jyväskylä in Finland monitored the heart rate variability of 30 dog and owner pairs across 6 different conditions. Heart rate variability is one of the most reliable measures of how the autonomic nervous system is functioning. High heart rate variability means your body is calm and regulated. Low heart rate variability means your stress response is active. What the researchers found was this. Across every condition measured, dogs and their owners showed correlated heart rate variability patterns. Their nervous systems were moving in sync. When the owner was calm, the dog was calm. When the owner's stress levels shifted, the dog's autonomic state shifted with it, and the synchronization was strongest during rest. They ran the same measurements with dogs and people they had never met. No synchronization at all. This only happens within bonded pairs. What this means is that when your dog lies down beside you at night, it is not simply a psychological comfort, it is a neurological event. 2 separate nervous systems from 2 completely different species are regulating each other across the hours of sleep. There is one more thing you need to know, and it may be the most important part of everything said here. If your dog has been sleeping beside you for months or years and one day they stop, do not brush it off. Dogs are creatures of deep habit. When an established behavior disappears, there is always a reason. Sometimes it is environmental. A new animal in the home, a change in routine, a shift in the household that feels minor to you but registers as significant to them. But sometimes it is physical. Veterinary researchers have documented that changes in sleep location are among the earliest behavioral indicators of pain in dogs, appearing before any visible limping, stiffness, or obvious physical symptom. A dog who stops climbing onto the bed may not have decided they prefer the floor. They may be hurting and have no other way to tell you. In older dogs specifically, disrupted sleep patterns are the primary behavioral marker of canine cognitive dysfunction, the dog equivalent of dementia, which affects an estimated 35% of dogs over 8 years of age. Behavior is the only language your dog has. When it changes, they are speaking. So the next time you find yourself with 6 inches of mattress at 2 in the morning and 80 pounds of dog pressed against your legs, remember what is actually happening in that moment. Your dog walked past every other option in the house, the warm floor, the couch, the soft bed you bought specifically for them. They chose you. Because 15,000 years of evolution, a neurochemical loop that no other species shares with humans, an attachment system built on the same architecture as the bond between a parent and a child, and 2 nervous systems that have learned to regulate each other in the dark, all of it pointed at one place. Next to you is the safest place in their world, and the science suggests it might be doing something for you too. If this changed the way you see your dog, subscribe to this channel and leave a comment below. I want to know, does your dog sleep beside you, or do they have their own spot? Tell me about it, and if you want to understand why your dog stares at you with those eyes, that is the next video. And what the science found about that behavior is even stranger than you would expect.